Welcome to my new segment in which I am going to call Where's the Lie with Tremel Thompson. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is just going to be another installment on how I deliver the message, whether it's transit, whether it's regular news, whatever it may be. I'm here and we're just doing this a different kind of way. So, we got the regular progressive action way. We got Where's the Lie, where on this segment, I don't think I'm going to be taking members' phone calls. I just want to monologue and give you guys the information. And then I'm going to still do my regular show where you guys could call in and, we could dialogue together. Now, the same rules apply. What I need for everyone to do, I need everyone to make sure that you share out the live. That's what we're going to do. The first 60 seconds of the show, we're going to share out the live. We're going to get these numbers up. While we're doing that, you see that up there. Where's that? Right here. You see it right there. You could donate via Cash App, $ Progressive Action 100. And you know what? While we're waiting, why don't I share it out myself? So let's take a couple of seconds, share out the live. This is going to be very informative. Y'all, you guys are not going to believe what Local 100 did this time around. I'm gonna get into that later on in the show. But let me share out this live. Find it, share it out. Let me go get it. Go get it going. Let me just share it out a couple of places. Thanks for everybody that's tuned in right now. We're about to get into the meat and potatoes of everything that's going on today. Let me see. Let me just leave that there right now. Yeah, take a couple of minutes. We go share out, these lives. New format. I'm doing a vertical format. Vertical format. I kind of like this format. That's why I moved away from everything else. But let me get this going in the chat real quick. All right, let me just put it here. I need y'all to share it out, really. Okay. All right, that should do it for right now. So let me see what's going to be the first thing that we're going to talk about today. As y'all know, congestion pricing is basically moving forward. It's basically moving forward. And for transit workers, I'm kind of like flabbergasted. I don't understand how it happened, but why didn't transit workers get an exemption when it came to congestion pricing? We work for the company. Our union leadership claim that they kick a lot of behind when it comes to with the MTA period, right? Why didn't transit workers get congestion pricing? Right? It wasn't negotiated in our contract. Nowhere at all. We've seen, and just to put things in perspective, the union never asked us, the union administration never mobilized us to attend any of these congestion pricing meetings. But guess who did? Let me show you guys who did. This is the firefighters. The firefighters organized and went up to the MTA board meeting and said their piece regarding congestion pricing. Now, like I said, today was the final day, MTA to hold final public hearings on congestion pricing before plan goes into effect, right? We was not invited, not to one congestion pricing hearing. Why didn't Richie Davis organize us to go up to the congestion pricing hearing? Now, I did hear today that he was at the final hearing. Yes, the final hearing. The final hearing to speak his piece. Now, what I don't get, I could understand NYPD going. I could understand FDNY going. I could understand sanitation going because they do not work for the agency. But why is our union president at the public hearing as if he cannot get a meeting with Jan Oliva, as if he cannot get a meeting with Richard Davey? They are literally, or like some people say, literally showing us how weak they are. They are literally showing us how weak they are. And I don't know, I don't know what you guys are thinking out there. I don't know if y'all thinking that, well, it doesn't affect me. Anybody that's coming from Jersey into Brooklyn, you're paying that congestion pricing fee. For the bus depots that's in that congestion zone, that means you're being taxed to come to work. Think about that. You're going to be taxed to come to work because your union representatives failed to negotiate congestion pricing for you. And I hear politically, oh, you know, buses, this, you know, the union president and buses. Your union president sold you out. Sold you out. He could have at least negotiated some type of pass for Quill Depot that falls well within the congestion zone. Who's going to want to work at a depot where they're being taxed to come to work? Imagine that. You're going to be taxed to come to work all because you drive out of Quill Depot. That's what's happening. That's exactly what is happening, which is totally insane. Now, I want to put this picture, I want to shift gears a little bit. I want to remind you guys, going back to the assault. There is going to be, let me get this off the screen. This picture bothers me. There's going to be a lot of angry people in those subways just because of congestion pricing. And I do not think any one of these entities, when I say these entities, I'm talking about the MTA and Local 100, is thinking about that factor. They already get upset at us when trains are late, and trains are not late because of train operators and conductors. Trains are late for various reasons. But now you're going to have a whole bunch of upset people in the subways. When delays happen, they're going to take it out and berate train operators, conductors, cleaners, station agents, which is going to inherently make the system more unsafe. You know how many times as a conductor, and I'm quite sure every front-facing title done heard this already, when something don't go right with someone in the subway. Oh, I pay your salary. I pay your salary. Now they don't even say that. They just go to straight spitting on us, slicing our necks, stabbing us literally or literally, stabbing us in the back like they did to my brother Denal Jenkins, punching us, throwing objects at us. That's what they doing. They no longer, I can't even remember the last time someone said, oh, I pay your salary. They just straight attacking us now, right? For whatever reason that's beyond us. And then not to mention the system itself is not ready for that whole new load of people to come. The infrastructure is not even on point yet. The infrastructure is not even on point. So we're going to be facing a whole bunch of troubles. And what boggles my mind about the entire congestion pricing thing is that the MTA is saying that congestion pricing is going to bring in $1 billion a year. The MTA is getting like almost $20 billion a year from the federal government. What is the extra $1 billion going to do? We have shown on this show plenty of times the MTA money thrown away, $30 million on steps. It takes 1 trillion years to make a station accessible. You look at CBTC. CBTC was a disaster. It was a disaster, and it's still giving problems. Everything that the MTA invests their money in, it goes to trash. And the people who make these decisions to purchase these things or hire these contractors to do these things, when things go awry, nobody's held accountable. Right? How can you say you're getting like 20 million and this extra $1 billion is going to solve everybody's problems or their problems? Right? Because it's not going to solve our problem. Let's be 100% honest. It's not going to solve any of our problems, specifically the workers and the law-abiding citizen riders. When congestion pricing hit and people is going to be forced to go into those subways, it's going to be a lot of irritated people in those subways. We have this year alone plenty of examples of the police or the mayor saying, and we're going to get to that in a second, the mayor saying, you know, we send extra 1,000 cops into the subways. All right, cool. You could send an extra 50,000 cops into the subways. If they are not strategically deployed within the system, it is null and void. Right. And I know there's a lot of police officers out there that be upset with me when I come across y'all pictures and I post it on social media, y'all sleeping. Let's bring this into perspective. It's not everybody. We get that. Yes, you have lazy people in every profession. You have lazy male people, you have lazy transportation people, you have lazy I've never seen a lazy firefighter. I'm quite sure there's one though. But you have lazy people in every profession, and they just want to do the minimum to get by. And you know, we hear excuses. Oh, you know, bail reform. And police officers got every excuse in the book. These police officers been hiding out in our facilities way before bail reform and all that other kind of crazy stuff. I hate those excuses when it comes to the police. The reality is that there's no accountability. And there's lazy people in almost every profession. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. There's no other way to rationalize it. And there's just no other way to look at it. Right? Oh, let me see if I pulled that up. And speaking of the assaults, let me see if this is it right here. This was breaking news as of today. Governor Kathy Hochul expected to make a big law enforcement announcement on a subway safety Wednesday. She tells Bern Hogan she's talked to the mayor, she's talked to transit, and she's talked to MTA leadership, NYPD transit, and MTA leadership about additional resources for the subway. Guess who she didn't mention? She never mentioned Local 100. Why didn't she mention Local 100? Why don't our union have a seat at the table? So I want to see what's going to happen with what Kathy Hochul was talking about, because we could look on our union social media. We could look at the news conferences and stuff like that. They never made a serious push to hold Kathy Hochul accountable. It was only Progressive Action. It was only us at progressive action in the media, on social media, holding the governor accountable for everything that's going on in the subways. I made it clear on this past week alone with my shows. Everybody remember when Hochul was running for governor last year, or was it the year before last? One of the two, right? And it was a whole thing about crime. It wasn't nothing near as crazy as it was now. She flooded the system with NYPD cops. Literally, at every station, there was an NYPD cop. No exaggeration. Literally at every station, there was an NYPD cop. And then as soon as she got elected, all those police officers disappeared. The MTA even pull out bulletins to say, hey, you got to make these announcements every time you see a police officer. And, I was like, why we got to make these announcements? Like, it don't make no sense. Because now we're alerting the criminals where there's police and where there's not police, and they know where to strike and they know what not to strike. And guess what happened ever since that bulletin came out? Crime has skyrocketed. Not only has crime skyrocketed in the subways, it has also a lot of people not getting caught. The assailant who tried to kill our coworker, let's call it what it is, tried to kill our coworker. Put the picture back on the screen for a second. The person who committed this crime, they don't have not one picture of this guy. They don't have no info. They don't have nothing on this guy. No videos. You have nothing on this guy. Where are all of, how did he get out the system? Where are all those cameras that the MTA said that they have? But for some reason, they can't find the cameras, right? They can't find the guy on camera. But guess what they want to do? And I want them to make this make sense. They want to put cameras in cabs. Why don't y'all take care of the cameras by the turnstile? How did this guy get out of the system with all these alleged cameras everywhere? How did he do that? And what I want to do for you guys, I want to put on the screen. Let me upload it into the system, because and this is another smack in the face. This is another smack in the face, and I don't understand how or why, or like I'm just lost for words, to be honest with you guys. But I want to upload this. This is very important. While I'm setting this up, please take the time to do me a favor and share out the show. Please share out the show. All of this information is very, very important, and is very relevant, and it keeps people honest. It keeps the governor honest. That's why she all of a sudden wants to do something now, because she's been called out, and we know who wasn't calling her out, right? We know that. Let me upload this just to show the smack in the face and how much we don't mean anything to these people. This is, check this out, people. Check this out. A $3,500 reward for this. They offering $3,500, and they got for information regarding an assault. This was not an assault. This was attempted murder. And as you can see, there is no picture of the assailant. If someone would have snuck a cop and attempted to cut that cop throat, do you think on this reward Crime Stoppers poster, they would have put, first of all, it wouldn't have been $3,500. Why didn't the union put up a reward, right, to show that we mean business? They waste money on a whole bunch of other crazy stuff. They could not increase this to more than $3,500 or put out their own reward? And then not only that, NYPD, do y'all value transit workers' lives? Why is this being considered an assault versus attempted murder? This was attempted murder. We cannot blur the lines when it comes to these things. We cannot blur the lines. This was nothing less than attempted murder. Nothing less. So what are they talking about here? Right? And then not only that, guess who went to go see Mr. Mayor today? Richie Davis. And he said President Richie Davis met with New York City Mayor Adams this afternoon to discuss the increase in assaults that are plaguing the transit system. Our members and the public deserve to feel safe working and riding. Now, if anyone knows Mayor Eric Adams, one thing Mayor Eric Adams do not like is for people to bash the police. He do not like people to bash the police at all, right? You cannot bash the police. So do you think that meeting was all about protecting transit workers, or that was about, once again, another powerful entity keeping Richard Davis in check? I could guarantee you guys, you would never hear moving forward Richie Davis throw NYPD under the bus again. I could promise you that. I could promise you that. And Richie Davis, he has been checked throughout the system. I'm going to continue to talk about this situation too. When after the attempted murder on a coworker, the conductor who got his neck slashed, right? And the union did this fake, I won't even say what it was. I don't know if it was a work stoppage. I don't know if it was a safety stand down. I don't know what's going on because they don't even know. They just went out there and did something, right? But what they did, the result was, and which I'm not mad at, is that it disrupted service. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Service should have been disrupted, especially when you factor in what had happened. But this is what came out of it. The union leadership, and this is a quote in the New York Times from New York City Transit President Richard Davey. He said the union leadership decided to put on some kind of work stoppage charade, which impacted a couple of 100,000 New Yorkers' commutes today. He said, adding, this is the most important part right here, people. I want y'all to listen clearly. Listen clearly. They've assured me that conduct would no longer occur. Let me say that again. And this is coming from Richard Davey talking about Richard Davis's union. They've assured me that conduct will never happen again. And every time I read that, I have to ask, who the hell Richard Davey think he was talking to? And what's so crazy is that there wasn't not one rebuttal. Like, if it wasn't true, oh, the union never put out a rebuttal. They never went on their social medias. They never put a statement out on the union website. They never said nothing. They never said nothing. And there was a release person that took when this whole safety stand down happened. It was a release person that took the social media and was like, you know, members, they need to follow our lead. They need to, you know, they decided to continue to work while we was doing our safety stand down. and a whole bunch of foolery. Can we get a post if we want to be transparent and people want to act like they for the members? Can we get a post about this? Can we get a post about that? Because why would union members perform any type of job action, even if it's to their detriment? Why would they do that if our own union president does not even stand up for us? How can Richard Davey go into the New York Times and said that they assured me that this conduct will never happen again, as if he's in charge of a daycare center? As if he's in charge of a daycare center. How does that work? How does that work? And then nobody says nothing. The union reps don't say anything. The VPs don't say anything. How are we supposed to have confidence in our leadership if they bowing down to management like that? And we're not talking about any type of little old thing. We almost had a coworker that almost lost his life on the job after putting 24 years in. If there was a time to take an action, that time should have been there. If you're going to die on your sword, or if you're going to fall on a sword or die on your shield as a union, that was the opportunity to do it right there. But what we got out of that was Richard Davey telling the entire New York City, telling the members of Local 100 that I got your president in check. That's what I got out of that. And it doesn't get any more clearer than that. It does not get any more clearer than that. If we don't have confidence in our union leadership, if we don't have confidence in our union leadership, how are we supposed to follow them? How are we supposed to follow them? But when it comes to the union administration having energy for people, they have energy for me. They have energy for any member who stand against them. They have energy for dissidents. They have energy for opposition. And that leads me to go into, you guys won't believe what Local 100 has done. Y'all know that there's an election coming up. And if you don't know now, you know, like Biggie said. The books for the meetings, for when members have to sign to make sure that they got their 5 meetings, those books are normally kept inside the recording secretary office. Richard Davis ordered for those books to be removed from the recording secretary office into another location where, guess what? The VPs and other officers have access to. Well, Tremel, what does that mean? Before I get into what does that mean, I guess in some type of protest, the recording secretary is Latanya Crisp, right? She sent out an email basically saying what had occurred, right? Nobody didn't find nothing wrong. Nobody didn't say nothing wrong. Why they didn't say nothing wrong? Because they are down with Stand United, aka members first. They are down with it. So why would they complain for something that's possibly going to benefit them? Now, Tremel, what's the importance of the meeting books? If someone does not have 5 meetings, it's 5 meetings to run for office division chair down, right? You need 5 meetings. If they got those books and one of the people they want to run didn't make those meetings, then guess what happens? They could easily fill in their name without any checks and balances because those books are not with the recording secretary no more. Now, could they have cheated with her? Possibly, because she's been going along to get along for a very long time too. But Richard Davis, like I told you guys with the meeting that we had in 2022, he does not trust Latanya. Right? He said Latanya was my best friend and she turned on me. You know, she sided with my ex, you know, a whole bunch of BS. So whatever happened with that relationship, he took the meeting books away from her. Now they have the meeting books. And what I'm figuring is that they probably don't have full slates either. But by him taking those meeting books, it's going to guarantee that Stand United, aka management for members first, they're going to have full slates in their department. And we are not. I don't know how this is legal. I don't know how it will be allowed, but it's happening, right? It's happening. So anybody who's running, I'm here to let you guys know that the meeting books are not in the recording secretary office no more. Richard Davis has control of them, and he's gonna let his officers manipulate those books to make sure that they have full slate so people can run. We are the ones who screwed up. Now let's go back to some more safety real quick. I want to touch on some more safety. Now, I had posed a question, and it was a random question inside my group, Progressive Action. And I basically said, for those who don't know, the new buses will be coming with cockpits, right? Enclosures to keep bus operators safe from the public. And I put a random question up there. I said, well, what if a bus operator is claustrophobic? You know, what's going to happen? And that post kind of like spiraled out of control. And I think that people misinterpreted and probably thought that I was saying no to the cockpits. But I think the cockpits are the answer. The separate enclosure is the answer. I think that they could have even did something that trucks have, that cars have. Why don't they create a complete enclosure and just have a door for the bus operator, a separate door that the bus operator use, like cars, like trucks? Why don't they have a separate door for the bus operator to go in and out of? Like I don't understand that. But whatever the case is, but let me show y'all pictures because a lot of people don't know what these cockpits are looking like. But that's basically it. This is supposed to be a full enclosure, and this is the view from the bus operator point of view. And this is from the view outside of the bus operator. Now, it is a closure. It doesn't look like a complete closure, but this is better than nothing. I believe that they could have built that better design, but we know that the MTA, they have people making decisions on our operating equipment that never even touched our equipment. And even the ones that touched our equipment was driving those old buses, like a bus that you were seeing Forrest Gump or something like that. Like those are the people who's making those decisions on our equipment. They either never touched the equipment a day in their life, or they so far removed from touching the equipment that they don't even know what's what, right? But what I come to find out, which I find very, very important, and I think that this is something that we should discuss and the union should discuss on a larger scale, is that I was unaware that bus operators is not excited about cockpits. A lot of bus operators do not want it. They do not want it. And I was taken aback, like, wait, hold up. So how do we address this whole entire safety thing if people don't want the enclosures? But that's not for me to figure out. This is something that we got to discuss. I don't know everything. I never admit to knowing everything. But I'm interested to have a big conversation about these enclosures. And I've seen people complain about the new buses where they saying that it's too small. And if you over 5'8", you're going to have a problem driving those buses and things like that. Well, y'all better be careful how y'all complaining, because a lot of these migrants I see on these trains, they're about 5'1". They could drive these buses with no problem. And we already know that the MTA love cheap labor. The MTA love cheap labor. So we got to watch out. The Democrats is not allowing all these migrants to come here to hold pom poms and wait every 4 years to vote for them. They gonna have them here for a reason, and we have to be careful. But on another note, I would be interested to have a big roundtable, a virtual roundtable via Zoom, where we could talk about the bus operator enclosures, and are you for it? Are you against it? What are your concerns with it? And things of that nature. And what the MTA is also doing is that they are trying to, or they're not trying, but there's going to be digital bus mirrors. Yeah, you heard me right. There's going to be digital bus mirrors. You're not. They want to replace the regular mirrors with basically camera mirrors. And I would like to know how that's going to work. How do you guys feel about that? So there's a lot of changes coming to buses. I don't know how that's going to work. Sounds interesting, but I'm very, very intrigued about this whole entire thing, and I would love to have a conversation with a whole bunch of bus operators one of these days. Y'all let me know if y'all interested or not. Just write it in the comments. I'll check the comments, and we'll put together a big round table discussing these technology changes that's coming to buses. Right now, I need you guys to listen clearly. We have to start coming together. We have to, right? We are being the attacks on us is insane. There's plenty of entities that have shown us time and time again that we mean nothing to them. Starting with the company who employed us. There's a known fact that everyone knows this. We're nothing but a pass number to the MTA. We're nothing but a pass number. If one of our family members were to pass on a job, get killed on a job, whatever the case is, the MTA is just going to cut a check and keep it pushing. And then it's going to be the next person up off the list, the next person up in seniority. We must start sticking together. We must start sticking together. A lot of people do not believe in our union leadership. All right, fine, cool, I get it, right? And they don't make it any easier for us to believe in them. I get it, but you got to believe in something. You cannot just come to work and go home. Like, yeah, all right, come to work and go home. It'll keep you out of certain things, but we are part of a movement. It's called TWU Local 100. If our forefathers in this union was only thinking about coming to work and going home, a lot of us wouldn't even be here right now. We won't even have a job, for the simple fact that this will be ran like a pure corporation. You won't have no union. You won't have any of that. There was people, Mike Quill, Mr. Randolph, who put in that work in Local 100 in the infant stages, that even put the thought in our head that, yo, I don't care about this political stuff. I could just go to work and just go home and forget about that. If it wasn't for their sacrifices, you won't even have the ability to say that. Because can you imagine this MTA agency that we work for without union representation? Yeah, our union sucks most of the time. But let's be clear, if we did not have union representation, it would be total chaos here. If we didn't have groups like Progressive Action, it would be total chaos here. So we got to get out of the mentality of saying, yo, I'm just going to do my 8 and skate. You got to believe in something. You got to get behind something. You got to get behind something. I just launched a WhatsApp chat group, and it's called Progressive Activate. Progressive Activate, right? And the reason I created that chat group is because I recognize that there's a lot of people who do not want to run for union positions. They don't want to get involved politically, but they say, Tremel, do you have any flyers I can hand out? Do you have any rallies for me to come to? I could share videos. I could do this. I could do that. I recognize that there are a lot of people like that who want to support, but don't want to be on the front line or be front facing in this political stuff. And then now I created Progressive Activate. Like I said, so WhatsApp chat, we're going to create communities in there, and we're going to be the change that we want to see. We want to be the change that we want to see. We must get involved. I don't care what entity that you get involved with. I really want you to get involved with Progressive Action, right? But we have to do something. We have to get involved, right? Now, I'm not saying, and going back to what I talked about, that union, the union person who put out that post saying that, you know, some workers didn't do X, Y, and Z. In reality, that happens. There's no such thing as 100% pure unity. There's not. There's not. If you look at every tyrant, every dictator that went down, right? In their world, in their span, yes, it does look like they had unity, but there wasn't no unity because they was taking people out left and right. That's not the sign of unity, right? Because if you got to kill opposition or silence opposition, there's no unity. You just silencing your opposition. And if you got a lot of power, you could do it with no problem, right? But they all have their fall. I mean, we even seen what happened with Cuomo. Cuomo was king for a very long time. And then that allegation came. Everybody turned their back on him. Everybody turned their back on him. And what happened? That unity that he thought that he had, it all disappeared. It all disappeared. But going back to the post is that, yes, that type of stuff should not happen. It should not happen. But what also should not happen is that the New York City Transit president, going into the media and saying that, let me just pull it back up because I don't like to get it wrong. They've assured me that conduct would no longer occur. Like, what type of insurance was that, and who made that insurance? Who made that insurance? I mean, this is we are in bizarro. We are, I mean, I don't even know what kind of land we in, to be honest with you. I really don't know what kind of land we in, but we are in uncharted territory when it comes to Local 100. We are in uncharted territory. And I'm telling you guys, like, as much as I don't really rock with the union administration, as much as I don't really rock with them, At the end of the day, I still want them to kick some ass. At the end of the day, at the least, that's what I want. I want them to kick some ass. If you're not kicking no ass, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? If you're not kicking no ass, we getting our ass kicked every which way that we turn. Every which way that we turn. Management kicking our ass. Local 100 administration, union leadership kicking our ass. NYPD kicking our ass. We almost had a brother get murdered, and they only consider it an assault and $3,500. I seen more rewards from missing Yorkies, missing poodles. $3,500. So what do we do in a situation when you look left, you look right, you look up, you look down, and you don't have no support? At that point, you know what you have to do? You have to take a look in the mirror. You have to look in the mirror and be that change. Because it's obvious that we cannot count on anybody. The only time people make political moves is when their seats are involved, when they may lose an election, or it may hurt their chances of re-election. That's the only time that people want to get involved. It's the only time. They do not care. But we care. And we got to do better, and we got to make it happen. So what I need for everyone to do, like I said, I hope this is, and I got to ask this question. Y'all see the title of the new segment that I'm running here. It's called Where's the Lie? Where's the lie with anything that I said today? If I said anything that was a lie, where's the lie? Where's the lie? And you're going to start seeing more of this vertical view of the show. I changed up some things. I'm very happy with how everything's going down. I am going to do some shows, taking phone calls. I want to interview people. I want to amplify a lot of people's voices. This year, that's going to be my goal. I want to amplify your voice. I want to amplify your voice. I want to amplify your voice. So if you want to be interviewed on a show, if you want to call in on a show, feel free to do that. Feel free to do that. And what I need everyone to do, I mean, these numbers, shout out to YouTube, man. Y'all on YouTube, y'all are killing it. Y'all killing it right now. Shout out to everybody who's watching me on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Shout out. But YouTube, y'all doing the damn thing. I ain't gonna lie. We got to make sure we share out this content. We got to share out this content. Share out the content. Let me see how I do that. Right there. Make sure you could donate via Cash App, $ Progressive Action 100. Once again, $ Progressive Action 100. If you're watching on YouTube right now, wherever you're watching at, please like the video. It's very important. When I get off this live, I would like 200 likes. Please like the video. It's very important. We got to break this algorithm that they got us up under so we can expand our views. Because the more people who hear this information, then the easier all our lives become. Because what's going to happen? We're going to create more fighters. We're going to create more people who want to be on the front line. We're going to create more people who want to help. We must share out these videos. We must keep this information coming. This is the only place where you're going to get consistent information regarding the transit authority, regarding information regarding our jobs, the employees, the public, everything. This is the only place that you get this information. You don't get it from Local 100. You don't get it from any other groups. You only get it from Progressive Action. So shout out to my team for helping me out and being consistent. But once again, please like the video. Please share out the video. Donate via Cash App, $ Progressive Action 100. And I'm going to leave y'all with this question. Where's the lie? Catch you guys later.